Hi guys, Razor here. So today I want to make a little tier list video, seeing that it's between brackets meta. Every second person is making a tier list video, so let's put one out there. But everyone is making it on their own kind of way that they play the game, either SSF or hardcore, or base like that. So I decided, okay, let's put one out there for the people in my kind of category. That is the one with the girlfriend or the wife, the kids, the working, all that. Let's call it dad gamer. But although we dunk a lot of hours more than some people maybe do, but in that perspective. So the criteria on this one would be, let's call it no more than a 10 divine budget on a league starter kind of setup, with maybe playing, I don't know, 40-50 hours in the first 3 weeks. Kind of maybe that means it's about 1 or 2 hours a day, and then maybe one of the weekend days you get a 6 or 7 or 8 hour session if everyone's away, that kind of thing. So yeah, let's call it plus minus 50 hours and 10 divine budget. So let's start at the bottom. Scion here, as a, let's say, trade softcore, there's option for Scions to play, because if you're going to play with your friends and so on, then obviously Scion is the best aura bot, and there is some corrupting fever builds and the like that is pretty good actually. You would not generally choose that above a champion or a gladiator to start off, even if you go the kind of CF route or the bleed pop explosions. You can get the gloves and do it. But champion offers a lot of scaling for auras and also defense via fortify, which is completely free, and then you can also just pop the gloves on. And I'm generally not a group player, so seeing that we said at the start in my criteria, so that would be 10 div budget league start scenario, 40-50 hours that you might play through the whole league, maybe more, depending how it goes on. But what is it that you can accomplish at that time? How strong is the scene as you start? Scion is going to be somewhere here, very close to trash tier. And if I think on this list, I don't know if it's quite trash. It's got the versatility of going the aura if you ever want to, or you can scale that with minions too. The thing is, there's so many to play. The leveling is just a bit of a pain. You can go spells and go north. I've done it before, so kind of just Stormbrand or Storms, that kind of thing, or Stormblast 9. Then it's not that bad. I mean, there's a lot of classes as that as an option. You're just gonna have to respec. You need more currency. Yeah, I don't know. Playing more as a solo player. Yeah, it's probably trash tier. Let's keep it there for now. Maybe some other region will move it around. We'll see where some of the other classes ends up. Well, let's go on this side now. Champion, it's at least A. There's so many builds. I think in softcore it might not end up with a kind of just damage and don't care about dying. That would be S tier. That would be new, enough profits early, but it's so comfortable. It's nothing less than A tier. You have immediate defenses and fortify. You can basically scale any attack skill, any spell skill. You got great aura effect. You have access to adrenaline if you chooses it, so it's actually pretty fast as well. You can use the ring and respec that if you want. The base class when you fail, absolutely the most damage you can get out of the class when you fail. It is not always a softcore class. Like, you can play the explosive arrow and all those kind of things on champion, but you would probably go elementalist then. You just need more damage. Like, it's fine dying once or twice. Elemental does way more damage than champion there. So the softcore, I think let's keep it to A. It's like you can definitely see it as one of the best Ascendancies in the game, and you can do everything with it. But is it absolutely the best for softcore? If you're a real blaster and you want to, not say blast them in an out terms, get to the game quickly, make currency, farm something, it's not necessarily going to be an insane bosser. Maybe if you go a trap or something, not the fastest map clearer. So no, I think it's pretty solid in A there. Assassin, this is interesting. The thing is that we have to consider Number one, is Assassin better than Champion? No. Right. So my first thought is it might come into B tier, or soft core. You don't have that. Actually, I don't know. The thing is, it can scale a lot of on-hit damage. You can go Assassin and go cast on crit, you're super squishy, or you can go Void Battery stacking very quickly, and you can basically play any gem, any spell skill you want on hit, Void Battery, power charge stacking. But it's very squishy, and the way the game is balanced today, I don't think, you know, defenses become pretty important. Bossing is part and parcel of the game. You need to quickly get your Exile, your Eaters. You're gonna die with one ball the whole time. This is Exile. So depending, if I have to consider someone, let's not take me, although I don't play as a lot as players, I've probably got 3,000-4,000 hours plus in this game already. I can maybe move around like someone in this kind of category wouldn't. I think maybe C tier, but I don't think it's D tier, because there is actually some balls that really can use it. Unfortunately, crit poison is not really a thing, but as a starter, you can get high damage easily. It's a pity they nerfed the evasion. If they can bring back, you know, they can bring back some of the defenses and the way elusive proc. Because you would think evasion would be its main scaling, but there's no real support. There's a bit of elusive, sorry. Trickster's just so much better at everything basically Assassin is. I would have to pop it down to C tier. Chieftain is interesting. I like Chieftain. Is Chieftain easy? Like, okay, I think we have to stick in an A and not B. I was thinking the reason is it's probably the best now for RF starting and using the Korok's explosions. Stacking life, it's got strength on the tree. It's probably just now better as a life base than what Inquisitor was. And there's actually pretty good options to play strength stackers as totem builds, which is very strong. There's a couple that are consecrated path totem. I've seen people play Tectonic Slam, any other fire totems. You can play Armageddon brand. Fire spells are quite popular as well. You can play a fire conversion Reap. You can play fire conversion Blade Vortex. And with the changes to Chieftain, it's pretty easy in softcore to get 90 max or res. It's pretty easy. To get your whatever that Phoenix Shield, to get the Purity of Fire. We now have the changes in the flasks. So yeah, it's pretty much gonna sort out the defenses for like 100 C or less, and probably 50 C. Sorry, yeah, it's probably gonna get 90 res like that on the tree. The only thing is that melee isn't that strong though, but I don't think there's too much difference between these two. I do think Champion is, yeah, let's leave Champion in front if we want to say who's maybe better, because it's probably still a bit more versatile. You can easily play Ballistas, anything. You can actually play Explosive Ballista on Chieftain as well, so it's so even. Let's keep it there. Next we have Deadeye. Deadeye, you're gonna go 99% lightning arrow into, like, even if you don't have a lot of time though, it is not quite as tanky, and Deadeye normally scales with currency better. If you have a lot of money and you're going tornado shot, it's probably in there. If you don't have enough currency, I cannot see that it's better than Champion or Chieftain. You'll probably find with a 10 div budget, you know, there's not a great way you're going to get an elemental bow under that. You have to consider your other gear. It is a fast starter, it's a fast runner. There's things that you can do with it quite quickly, but I don't think in this scenario it is better. I almost like a Raider more than Deadeye in the scenario of under 10. Raider feels actually tankier. You can get very easily elemental aim on immune. You're very fast, you can move, you can do heist farming, you can do some stuff very effectively. Where Deadeye is great with bows, but it is not all round as good. And I think as this kind of 10 to 50 hour play, it's not always. You might end up with your time and you just don't scale the damage where you feel you can clear, and if you're playing on-hit bow builds and you don't have damage, bossing will feel bad. The bow builds that do very well scaling with gem levels like Toxic Rain or Caustic Arrow is much better played on a Pathfinder or even a Raider. So I think let's leave that one there. Next, Elementalist. Minimum 8 here. There's so many Ignite variants you can play. I think if you start this, Explosive Arrow, Guaranteed Ignite, Vortex. Is it S tier perhaps? We don't have an S tier starter yet. Don't have an S tier starter yet, like this covers everything. Elementalist can also be slightly squishy in most of those builds, like Explosive Arrow is. The cold builds though not. Vortex and then, although Vortex is nerfed, you can still play it, but there's other ways you can play it now. Crossblink Ignite, you can use Flame Blast. Yeah, I don't think it will get into 8 here. You can play Golems. There's a lot of Golems builds that from light. Would I say it's completely S tier? I don't think so. Is it? But I do think damage wise it gets it damaged so easily that I won't say B, and it's good enough. Most of its abilities will be ranged. I also think actually Elementalist is straight up an 8 tier starter now in this kind of environment. Yeah, let's leave it there for now. And let's go here on the right hand side. Trickster. What is there that the Trickster cannot do? Like softcore 10 div, you are mapping, starting the game, and you just get all your resources back. Life if you want that, energy shield, mana. You have access to spell suppression, the best of any Ascendancy in the game. You scale your damage generically by taking masteries, which most people will. So it's very easy to get 24, 28 or 30% more damage from just building your build and using critical masteries. So it's not even that you're pocketed into going a certain route or a certain skill. So I think if you have to think of a build, a skill, there's not many Ascendancies that will do the all-round package better than Trickster. If you are not sure, even Explosive Arrow, Frostblades, Cold Dot in the past, I never played it on a Cultist Elementalist, I just played it on Trickster. It just felt so good. There's ways you can get explosions, other ways, it might cost currency, but still. There's options. I recently played Explosive Trap Trickster in the BPL, and it was insane. To within 4 days, I think I played about 54 hours, though I had Orphan, I had Leave and so on, so I was able to do that. But yeah, I could get high damage. I'm talking somewhere between 16 and 20 million within 4 days. And at the end of that, we were delving. I was like killing Uber Elders and Cirrus runs to farm stuff, killing the bosses quite easily with that damage, and sustaining. So I think Trickster, I think it's exceptionally strong at this stage. Gladiator, it's also going to be somewhere here. What is slightly better though, there's more versatility. Gladiator can basically only play CF and Bleed Bow. There's nothing really worth it. It's so split open that you can't play any melee skill with Bleed, because the whole Ascendancy is really built around, if you don't use a shield, you lose 3/4 of the Ascendancy. You don't have blocks, so you can basically have to go Bleed. You have to go a lot of movement speed. I don't know, I think you got Corrupting Fever here, you got Bleed Bow Gladiator, and that's probably realistic. But now Corrupting Fever is better on Champion, because you just take the Hemophilia gloves and you got half of the Ascendancy, right? You got tankier, fast, scale aura effect, permanent fortify. I think here we must make action. If you leaks, although if you actually want to start Bleed Bow, you can do it and then swap to Champion and steal the Docker. We're talking about a 10 div budget. Does Scion need more currency? Gladiator might feel better starting leveling. Like this, you can use Spectral Helix. You can start it with bows. It doesn't have access to that. is that maybe the case. I think because there is two strong variants that you can start with him that just absolutely works in your crush leveling. It's just the in-game damage scaling that's more problem. And for someone that plays less hours, I think Scion might struggle more in the front and the way you have to path. Okay, let's leave it like that for now. And then we go Berserker. So Berserker is pretty interesting. It's definitely not 8 here. It's somewhere here. Because Berserker scales a lot with currency. If you have endless and, you know, self-chill Berserker shenanigans, permanent rage, various ways it goes here, right? We've seen stuff Kobe's done with Berserker. It's insane. So, yeah. Deadeye. Clearing maps, getting in Berserker. I think this is, both of them are squishy. Both of them can output a lot of damage. I think Berserker loads easier to output damage, easier to get rage. You can play Lightning Strike is actually a pretty good league starter here. You can like just funnel anything in damage. You have access to max rage, Fortify, which she doesn't have, or Deadeye don't have. But I have to say it's probably beat here. It's definitely not as good as these ones. I think it's probably there's some Berserkers that's better than Assassin, especially just maybe because of meta skill. There, you know, there's a lot of stuff Assassin that Trickster's just 10 times better. You just play Trickster, and that game is the same part where Saboteur comes in. So I'll have to just immediately say that this is the problem these two Ascendancies have. It's just Trickster does it better. Like you're not really gonna start a Sabo. Like if you're a trapper, Trickster just does it better later. If you do get the currency, you can steal it. And as a pure miner or something, there's Inquisitor, Eye of Winter miner. There's a lot of elemental miners. It's just better taking Inquisitor. Like I think Sabo is a bit in a problem here. It does have the Skitterbot, but it costs insane mana. It's not actually fun. I picked the Skitterbots first, trying to level it. It is. Oh. It drains so much mana, and you say, oh, I'll put one of the skills on life cap, but it doesn't help. It just procs that mana cost, and it's so much, even on life cap, it's so much, because it's twice the cost, so you pay 3 times for throwing the skill once. Nah, it's really, I think it's stuck there in C. It's better than Gladiator. It's way more damage. If you want to like just make a minor bosser, yeah, fine. You do it, you know, build into Sabo and just go kill bosses. You can never do that with Gladiator. I think Assassin has also got that option. So, but I don't think as league starters, 10 level less, 50 hours or less with Sabo. No, I don't even think it's better than Berserker. No. So now we come to Guardian. Guardian is interesting. I don't think Guardian is S tier. Although, in a softcore 10 dev, you know what? This SRS Guardian is such a good build, like even in Gauntlet. I think on a softcore 10 dev 50 hour or less, you make a build, you play with what you pick up, you don't have too much currency, you get your SRS to level 10, you got free auras, you get 50% block if you want to. Let's forget, because in 10 dev less, you're not really going to scale mana at all. You know, mana guardian stuff, you won't do that at all. The ease it's leveling, I think, in this kind of scenario, we have to admit that it is probably a S tier starter. It doesn't have that many build options, especially as Trickster, so we'll put it there, but it's super good. Hierophant. It does something very well, and that is totems. And Stormburst totems, excellent build. It can build into the siege ballista thing, which is a crazy boss killer if you want to play that way. It's really, you know, what's the word? Specialized. Hierophant as a mana stack has become very popular. We've seen a lot of builds coming out from that. So I wonder if it doesn't sneak up into 8 tier. Hierophant is pretty good at the moment. Mana support's gone in a little bit better. You got RF that can be played there as well. A couple of mine over meta builds. It doesn't scale the mana side damage. Well, no, it does actually. Totems are pretty good. So but it's very specialized. Probably not as all-round as good as these three. but I wouldn't say significantly less than like Elementalist. Which one of these two do I think is better? Like if you just pick, yeah, you're specialized when you're taking Eurofan. It actually takes more currency at the end. You need to get those +1 shields, go totem. Well, we've seen this doing very well, but still the damage has a ceiling if you don't have currency. Maybe I would think on the soft core, it's just below that, Now we have 2 bangers here. Okay, let's go melee first. Slayer. Yeah, it has to be the best melee class. You can play anything with it. You can leech, which is a great defensive mechanism. Any of the bone shatter and that, it's just more damage, more survival, it's more counter, more area of effect. You can play elemental fit with it. You can play charge stacker with it. You can play frenzy with it. You can play flicker strike with it. It just naturally can give you crit if you choose. It can naturally give you charges. It gives you great cull. It gives you great leech. It gives you AoE. I think we have to even do that. Is it actually better than Trickster? Interesting. I don't think so. As an all-round package, I don't think so. It's just great. Pick something to play. Inquisitor is definitely A tier. Inquisitor, I think as a starter, energy blade and that, it's actually, you know what, I wonder if it's not S tier. Like, I wouldn't feel any of these are subpar to Inquisitor, because there's still so much builds you can play with it. The energy blade stuff is great. You can build any of the miners and that gives you defense, it gives you regen. I think that would pop actually into S tier as a 10 divine or less budget. Yeah, I think it's there. Pathfinder is great, but I think as a starter, I don't think it's better than these in that kind of budget. If you do want some budget and invest into it to get all those permanent class effects and stuff going, it's still really bad. You're never going to craft that in a 10 device budget. Just forget about it. I'm not going to find it. It's seriously expensive at the start of the league. But it's a super class. Like you can play any poison variant with it, and you can sustain it. You can take nodes on the tree and basically sustain your flasks without the upcome. But does it have like the in-game damage potential that these have at the start? I don't think so. But very, very, very good. I think if the budget is higher, it will move up. But I think for 10 dev less, 40-50 hours less, we'll move it in there. Juggernaut, I think it's easy A tier. I don't think it actually beats these in a softcore environment. You very specifically might play accuracy stacker. It's too much currency, so no. Actually think it's B tier for starting. I don't think it's better than Pathfinder Elementalist. No, or am I wrong? No, it's not much worth. The only thing is you have less bolts. I mean, if you play 2 bolts, you play Juggernaut, right? And then you would say it's better, but the rest not. So I think it might just slip down here to B tier in this category. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think that is fine. These 3 are difficult. Ooh. So Necromancer is pretty good. Play with minions. Minions need a lot of investment. Either you go golems. I've played that one. You can get all your jewels. It's not really that easy. Spectres and that stuff is unplayable with this budget. You can play SRS, but actually, exactly, you should just play Guardian. With the hours, with the 40-50 and less hours, 10 dev budget, you just play Guardian. It's really Detonate Dead. This is better at, but no one really plays a lot of 2-button builds on League Start. A League Start scenario on that budget, I wonder if it's not the same here, where there's just other classes that do it better. A Volatile Data Zone you can play, but like there's cards and crit versions that just better on Trickster or one of them that would cover better. I mean, she's pretty good with corpses, cremation, but she comes on her own where that block is needed more, and like on hardcore, she's a easy 8 here, but in softcore, if you're staying under the 10 div budget, then not. If you were above the 10 div budget, I would go there easily. But you need minion investment to stay alive. Is it better than these? Throw your totems, it might be the same. So if you have to choose, well, you can play Brand as well. With her you can play, play Detonate Dead. Oh, it's difficult. Is she worse than a Berserker? She's not worse than a Berserker. I wonder, like, I think Berserker needs to come down. I do think Berserker is better than these two, but otherwise I don't think it's fair. Yeah, no, I think there is some strong stuff you can do here, and there's people that play that, but I don't think starting with that budget is better than this. Just setting you up defensively and damage wise, I think that's fair. So Raider is good. Raider is tank, quickly. Raider's got a lot of speed. I mean, for heist, Raider is exceptionally good. If you 10 div and under, you can play Toxic Rain, you can play Ballistas, you can play Explosive Arrow, you can play Frost Blades, you can play Molten Strike. Yeah, you can just be ailment immune. You're fast, but you're not as tanky. I think Pathfinder is definitely better position than Raider. It's specialized though, but it's not. I think it's still better than these. A lot of occasions I would pick Raider, so I think B is fine there. Also incredibly all-round class actually, with a lot of builds available, but it's not better than these as picking number 1 to league start. It will be faster out the block, so yes, if you're doing heist or something like that, absolutely, then that's your build, very specialized. But as a general over average, no, I think let's leave it in B. Occultist, once the favorite occultist, pop occultist, but chaos stuff got nerfed, the Bane got nerfed, it's just not as strong these days. There's ways to get explosion in builds now that are better. In a softcore scenario, getting extra curse and pops is actually very good. I've actually played an RF version of this, which felt great. Like, I want to actually play that build again. I do not think occultist survivability and so on beats, like, tower stacking. This is the option. It's probably better, maybe. It's debatable, but it's got more options where it's at. Albion Warpath with this is also good. Any of the cold tower stackings are good. Castle Crit is arguably maybe better with a cultist than assassin. So it's definitely better than these. There's a cultist, the same kind of feel league starter, like, depends your build, right? You can get a lot of damage out of it quickly, but survivability is again the problem. I feel these actually survive, especially this one maybe, but she's so versatile. Survivability is just 10 times better. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it there, and yeah, I think that is my list. I think even in the order, and it's actually surprising to see the B is quite fat, so that means in certain terms GG got the balance not too bad, because these four are definitely the god S tier. Definitely Trickster, Slayer, Guardian, Inquisitor. On softcore for blasting as a solo guy, 10 div and less, 10 div and less, 40-50 hours and less. Some slightly tankier options here, but generally less power out the back or DPS, but incredible versatility in what you can play. B tier is more specialized, but lack survivability, all the survivability, lack damage. Minions, corpses, it needs investment. Raider fast out the blocks, but there's nothing it's like superbly great at except ice. And then map clearing capability is great here. No perfect defense. Also, it's going to need investment to go higher, but this is quite a niche class. And then these need a bit of help. Sorry. Berserker can be good, but you need money in game. Fun to start. Lacks survivability, lacks options, and poison is just better on Pathfinder. Sabo, Trickster just does everything better and can steal the node, so problem. But still, as a minor, specialized better than these two. I think Gladiator has 2 builds it can start, so that put it above Scion. Scion isn't really a specialized in anything except if you're Orobot, or if you start maybe also CF, but I actually think Glad is then better starting it, and you can still switch to Champion where you cannot do it. So seeing that it's also more of a playing alone, not really group play strategies, I think unfortunately Scion wins here. She has no immediate single starting identity that will make it better than any of these classes as a solo player. Yeah, I think that's my list, guys. If you want to check down what do you think about it, I think this is pretty fair spread. And yeah, enjoy the league coming up, and see ya later.